Hey, good day everybody. Good morning. Guten Morgen, wie geht's? How's everyone doing? So today, sorry again about the camera angle. I'm still gonna get that thing that sits on my dash at suction cups there so you can see more of me while I'm driving here. I just got my phone on my chest harness here. And yeah, so it's not a fishing day today because, well, it could be if I catch a fish, I guess. But so this is like a part 2 video of that lure that I built out of cedar, that wake bait. Sorry guys, yeah, fix this here. Of that wake bait. The last video I showed you, it was just basically a sealed chunk of wood, sealed in crazy glue so that water couldn't penetrate into the actual wood. And it was just a test run with hooks on it to see how it swam. And I tuned it a bit, and it swam really well. So now I've got it painted up and clear coated, eyes, hooks, everything on it. It looks like an actual lure. And I'm going to test it as a final. So, this doesn't mean I'm going to be making them right after this and selling a bunch. I'm going to make some more, but do them up in different color schemes for topwater. Not only is it the action of a bait that has to be important, but also too, what color schemes are going to work well, and have I painted them up in a way that makes it the most efficient. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to head out. I'm going to give a couple casts. You know what? If it's convincing enough and catches a fish in the meantime, well, that's awesome. That just proves that it works more than just in testing. So we're going to give it a shot. All right, we'll catch you in a short bit. All right, everybody. So here we are, and man, the pond is high. Look at the height of that water. The last time I was here, I was able to walk right out to that rock and just step up on it. So this water's up at least a good 2 feet, maybe 1.5 feet. That's okay. Get her out there. So here is the end creation right here. So if you watch the last video, you'll remember that it was just a chunk of wood, shaped out, no eyes in it, just the hooks on it and the connector. And I finally got it foiled and painted and clear coated and the eyes on and all fancied up. So we're going to give it a final test on how it... All right, we're at a better spot here. I'm going to get me old glasses on so I can see this a bit better. Give it a couple easy casts. Sits and floats nice in the water. And I can see it showing its side flash already. You just can see that. That's perfect. And we'll raise up my rod tip and see if we can wake bait it here. Beautiful. Well, it probably could maybe be tuned a little bit here. Seems to be. Just a nice slow reel in. Animals don't swim super fast. And even wounded fish here swimming at the top don't necessarily swim too fast. So here we go. Drop the tip a bit. Oh, it's turning all right. So we'll do some more casts out here. So you can see a little bit better as it's coming in. There we go. Perfect. So I'm gonna cast it a few more times just for fun. Works great as a wake bait. Holding pretty stable. And as a bait that floats, and can be retrieved in a little quicker. And then gives a little bit of a barrel out because, again, that lip is very sharp in its angle. And it's designed not to swim and dive down quite like a Rapala or a jerkbait of any sort. Or a swim bait, crankbait I should say. It does give a good enough flash at a particular even reel in. I'm happy with that. I really, really am. I think that's going to work this coming spring season. Just real slow and you'll get an even wake. Just let that lip do its little bit. Oh. And then we'll have that subsurface motion too, which could be done just in a drag, pop up, pause, drag, pop up, pause, drag. There's another good method also too. So I'll let that sit out. I'm just going to tighten the line. I'm just going to slowly give it a drag, let it pop up, give it a drag, let it pop up, drag, pop up, drag, pop up, or just a straight retrieval. It really is flashing back and forth really, really well. So it's giving this great side flipping motion. There we go. Oh, just about took my eye out with it. So that's the beast. Got some nice sparkle on the top. Some foil tape on the side, painted up. I'm going to get better on my paint jobs on these because I just kind of rushed it. But all right, guys, so we're going to get back to the shop. And I'm going to show you a little video tour of the shop too. Okay, catch you then. Hey everybody, we're back and here we are in my shop. So I'll try and like zoom out the best I can. And this is all the stuff we have here. So I buy blanks and I paint them up and I try and sell them. So I'm looking at getting a website together for Anderson Lures through Wix, and of course here I got all my, get this stuff sold not just in where I live here in Canada, but hopefully in the States and other places. So we've got a good selection of things like flap slaps and wake baits. Got some that look like mice here. Lots of knockoff S cranks. These are all knockoff blanks, and you know what? I think they swim great. People don't care for this type of stuff, but you know what? If you want to stick to your company brand there, all the power to you. You want to try something that's a little more competitively priced with or more, I should say, more reasonably priced. Not many people want to pay $40 for a jerkbait, or you can pick them up for me for $12 to $14. But just to go over a few things, that's kind of my selection I've got painted. I've got these bigger baits here, these trolling baits. These are pretty awesome. And some larger plopper tail rats and that sort of thing. I do everything with a 2-part epoxy, so I have this turning wheel, which most lure makers or lure painters do, or they use KBS and hang, dip and hang, or use, for example, UV. I do a little bit of UV, but mostly with epoxies. So just to give an idea of all the blanks I have, I got tons and bags of blanks. Bags and bags of blanks. And of course I experiment and make my own little things like this that I've carved up. Here's another copy of that bait that I did. I'll show you that bait that I featured here earlier in the video for test swim, a final test swim. So here's another one I did up, a blank, that I'm going to paint up and get ready for testing. Even if it's in the spring, if I don't catch the water again open water before it ices up, it's going to be coming soon. So we're working away at making that. I'm also going to show you the woodworking shop here a little bit. So over here I've got my compressor, keep most of my supplies, and I've got all my paints. And my toolbox where I keep all my airbrushes, stencils, cleaning equipment, all that sort of thing. This is really just my furnace room. And I got tapes and so on. Up here we got more mediums, clear coats, paints, stuff to prime the baits with. We've got, sparkles, lots of sparkles, different inks as well. Right, cleaning fluids, brushes. Then here's my paint booth. Give you an idea. This is what it looks like. I'm kind of squinched in here. And I was busy cleaning up a few brushes here, but you can notice this is a pegboard, and how I got this constructed is down underneath there is a quite a big fan here, cage fan, or blower fan, I should say, more of a blower, and it's opening underneath, so I can lift up this pegboard and you'll see the fan cage, and I put a filter over top, and it actually acts as a downdraft, so it actually sucks everything that I spray down, out, and then out in through the window in the garage through a pipe. I don't have it where the filter is here, and the reason why, and this is just my thinking, is because as you're spraying, and sure that could be picking up your spray and your fumes and your particulates, but a lot of it will cast and blow down and fall down to the floor and then starts to build up, and then you might get to a level of where the whole room is half of the room or a third of the room is full of fume, and then finally it'll reach the level of the fan and start to go in. I've sort of watched that happen before, when I had a little cheap thing I first made up out of a cardboard box with a it's just an exhaust fan type of thing, until I constructed this. So now this, once I spray, it just immediately goes down through the holes and out. So, I got various pegboard on here just to hang things, hang the airbrushes, got all my stuff, pins and little holders and meshes for making scale pattern and so on. So we'll take a little trip out here to the garage, and I'll show you the woodworking shop where I'm gonna start making more stuff out of cedar and basilwood, or balsa I should say. No, balsa, whatever, and pine and whatnot. Okay, I also do resin pour too. Here's another station table that I have with equipment, and I usually do my clear coating and hold my paints and stuff on there. And all my fishing gear, so my rods, poles, all that kind of fun stuff. Rods I haven't used yet. And then here out in the shop, we've got the shop table. This table's on casters. When I get serious into doing a day's worth of stuff, I'll just roll it out to the center of the garage here. And, I've got a nice sander, which I might sell and get a different one that's got like a flat table that with a wide band that sort of sits flat and rotates the band around. That's sort of the one I'm kind of looking forward to possibly getting. And I got a little bandsaw, and of course a drill press, and a flat station. There's a little vise in the corner there. Again, all this comes out. I've got a vacuum cleaner down below, a shop vac that I can just hook up. There's a couple little spriggets there, or little connectors to the sander and to the bandsaw I can hook up to and suck out all of the shavings as I'm working away. So I thought that was kind of handy. And it's always good just to have a fold-out table too as a secondary workbench to do a lot of your stuff like gluing and whatnot. So now also too, going over here, now I'm on the opposite wall of the spray booth of the shop that I showed you inside, and there is the tunnel where the vent pipe going out from the fan and right out to the window. I just go out the other side and I open up the window. Everything gets exhausted out through there. So this has really worked out well for me for quite a long time, for a couple of years now. yeah, so that's my setup as I have it now, and I'm hoping in the future that maybe I can build a little shop out back, just like a 10 by 12 or 10 by 10 building that's insulated. I can run gas heat to it. I'd propose to put it over in the one corner here outside the house. I could run a gas line from the meter over to it and have a nice shop where hopefully one day I can paint blanks, create my own wooden lures out of balsa wood or whatever, and paint that up, maybe even get into soft plastics. So there's a lot of different ways of going with this. You can make almost anything. There's so much in tackle, different varieties of tackle, from spinner baits to fly tying to jig tying to soft plastics, hard lures, custom painting, hard plastic blanks, that sort of thing. So there's I think there's always going to be a little spot in the market for you, especially if you get into certain things like musky baits are a big challenge to make, but you can fetch a fair dollar for them if you make a good quality piece, and but also takes a lot of work to make them too, right? So sometimes you can pump out the smaller baits a lot faster and get a little bit better return, I think. So anyways, that is a tour of my shop and the first testing of one of my wake baits. I'm hoping to take that wake bait with a few others I make up that are the same, different paint patterns, and we'll see how they work come pre-spawn this coming spring here in Section 11 in northeastern Ontario. So, and if they really work well and I can get lots of successful hits off the top water with it and in throughout the summer, then I'll start to produce some, and who knows, maybe you guys might be able to buy them if you want them. All right, there'll be some other stuff coming too. All right. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye, everyone. Danke. Thank you.